smash that like button. You're going to want to cut that, put that right at the start. Hey, everyone. Hello. It's the podcast.
Woo!
Woo! Let's get it. 2 weeks in a row. We're back. We're back on the grind. We have such an exciting episode today. We got an interview with my man Nature Jab, a.k.a. Julian Brown. We're going to talk about making oil out of plastic.
New, exciting way to recycle plastic, turn it back into fuel.
Like hypothetically, if there was an issue with, plastics, maybe a little pollution issue, that would be something.
Maybe instead of going to paper straws, we could just recycle the plastic back into the raw elements.
That would make too much sense.
I guess, yeah.
That would be too convenient. So that's an issue, guys. But listen, I'm gonna kick it off a little off the beaten path. But we're gonna do a funny video right out the gate because I don't even have two for you today, Tommy. I don't think
just the one.
But we'll just this one's just so good. It's like we'll just rock and roll with this one. So wait, here we go.
I didn't realize it was even a conversation. I always assumed we would be heavily involved.
Yeah, baby. We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids. It's no good diddling kids.
Dude,
There is no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about it.
You gotta write a song.
There's no quicker way for someone to think that you diddled kids than by writing a song about it.
That's such a good clip. Oh my God.
You can put that over a lot of things. But
God, yeah.
Drake's ghostwriters are having a hell of a time coming up with a response to Ain't One of Us. Who you got, Team Kendrick or Team Drake, my man?
Honestly, I just learned about this yesterday. I don't know. I don't know where I find the sand I bury my head in all this time, but
You're living your normal life.
I'm living a normal life, I guess. Yeah, but honestly, I'm Team Kendrick. I don't know.
You
I
have
can't
to be.
I can't root for the home team on
Any
this one. Sorry, Drake.
self-respecting person has to be Team Kendrick. That guy is an actual poet. He writes his own lyrics, and frankly, he doesn't have the problematic connects that Drake has. He is actually so. Okay, there's a clip. I'll throw it up beside my fat stupid head. But frankly, so Kendrick brings it up in his latest diss track. But there is a guy named Lucien at Universal, and he is named in the P. Diddy court documents as someone who was there helping with all the good old fashioned grooming going down. By the way, shout out. Who's the 11 from Stranger Things? Because Drake totally, Millie Bobby Brown, right?
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown, and Drake's been talking with that young lady since she was 14 or 15.
Which is, yeah.
I mean,
I don't care what the relationship is. That's just
pretty weird. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Lucien Grange is his name. Anyways, he is Drake's handler. So we got a direct connect between Kendrick. Kendrick was kind enough to point that out for us. Man, it is crazy though. Drake's bodyguard got a shot yesterday. I'm sure maybe did you even know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Toronto, his security guard was shot at his mansion.
Wow.
And his OVO store in London was vandalized. So the people are
not too happy with Drake right now.
Started from the upper middle class. Now I'm here. He was a rich Toronto kid, right? He was in a show called Degrassi High.
I did know that.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Wheelchair.
That's a connection.
He was in a
Wheelchair
wheelchair.
kid, yeah.
My man was wheeling and dealing since he was a 10-year-old. But he's just the whole idea that Drake is from the streets and yada yada. That's a negatory. That's a negatory, sir.
You're telling me he lies in his lyrics?
My gosh, I know it's a tough one. I know it's a tough pill to swallow. What's going on in your life, Tommy? I got something to pull up here, but why don't you? How was your week? How was your week, man?
Week's been good. Week's been busy. Went up to Montreal for the vertical takeoff and landing conference.
Whoa.
They
what
got
the hell
helicopters,
is that?
they got drones. It's all about aircraft that take off and land.
Okay.
Vertically.
I guess this is kind of self-explanatory.
They had a whole they wheeled a whole helicopter onto the floor. I was in charge of the recording the electronic
so
portion.
did you put up a big news updates for real banner?
I should have brought one.
All right,
that'd have been great.
At the up-down conference.
At the up-down conference. Up-down, straight up-down. It's got to be the straight up-down. It can't be horizontal up-down.
Was there any Nigerian billionaires that died in a helicopter crash while you were there?
Not while I was there, unless it happened elsewhere.
That's good. That's good. It happened in California a little bit back. Don't take a helicopter in California.
No, I guess
it's kind
not.
of a bad luck thing. Yeah, there's been a few. Kobe. All right.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Philadelphia experiment, Tommy?
I've heard it's always sunny in Philadelphia, but we've already brought that up.
That is a certain sort of experiment, but it was the summer of 1943, 2 years into the United States involvement in World War II. Yada yada yada. They pretty much were trying to do some sort of new device, which was like a cloaking device, making them invisible to enemy radar. Rumor aboard the ship was that generators were designed to power a new kind of magnetic field. Long story short, there was a super weird green glow around the ship. Then it just disappeared. Hours later, it appeared in the Norfolk Naval Shipyard in Virginia. So that's different state. We were in Philadelphia to begin. And apparently there were crewmen who were found partially embedded in the steel hull of the ship, still alive, but with legs or arms sealed to the deck. I just thought that was a little fun piece of history that I didn't know that happened.
Imagine stumbling across that.
It's like there's the old SS Eldridge with old Jimmy in the hull there.
Yeah.
Look at him
That's
go.
some Pirates of the Caribbean fucking
that kind of
Davy Jones shit.
That kind of goes into, it's actually kind of a perfect little symmetry there between, just the technologies that are out there that have been out there since this was 1942, I think, in the middle of World War II. That's almost 100 years now. I hate to say that. Can we stop aging? I'm an old person.
We need a thing that stops time from advancing,
but allows us to just live infinitely until I don't want to anymore. How about that?
Yes.
Sybil in the Hourglass, yes. Thomas. Do you know Sybil? It's a very deep cut literary reference.
Yeah.
Sybil lives forever, but then she watches all her friends and family die, and then she has nothing left to live for, but she's trapped in the prison of infinity, Thomas.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's sad. It's like being trapped in the hull of a ship because your government was doing random tests. That's funny. That's kind of familiar, actually, to something that maybe happened recently, allegedly. All right, so we're Team Kendrick here, guys. Don't participate in magnetic field experiments that the government is running.
Do you think they were willingly participants?
Isn't that the question? Eh?
Yeah.
Isn't that the fucking question? As always. Moving right along, I have an excellent little story here, but let's talk about the protests. Obviously, you guys may have heard there's this thing going on in Israel and Gaza. They've got this whole region, Rafah, shut off right now. And there's a couple things to go over here. Okay, so did you know they're using a literal Skynet program to kill the Hamas and Palestinian people?
Really?
It is called Lavender. It is pretty much. Why don't we just watch my video on it? Let's do that while I pull up this next thing. But I kind of did a deep dive on all this last night, and it's horrifying.
Welcome to your evening edition of news from around the world that will give you nightmares. Okay, this is actually old news, but I'm just learning about this, and it is some of the most horrifying stuff I've heard ever. So let's get into it. Let me introduce you to Lavender, the AI machine directing Israel's bombing in Gaza. Yeah, we're talking Skynet. You think I'm kidding? No. So this thing is through an algorithm picking out Palestinian targets and, marking them for death. Yeah. So out the gate, it marked 37,000 Palestinians. Okay? To make matters much worse, human oversight was pretty much just a rubber stamp. No one really looked into it. They gave it about 20 seconds. 20 seconds of thought. before
Seems like a good amount of
greenlighting
thought.
the bombing campaigns that the Lavender AI system marked out. And wouldn't you know it, approximately 10% of the targets were miscalculated. So we're talking, low number, 4,000 innocent people.
Yeah, even
bombed,
10%.
including
That's a
their
low
families.
percent, but that's a lot of
it goes
human
on, the
lives.
investigation went
Yeah.
on to show
Died for
that
them,
they
yeah.
had targeted individuals while they were in their homes, usually at night. And
You'd like to see
frankly,
that number be zero.
Disturbingly, they have
especially with the rubber
an
stamp.
additional automated
Yeah,
system
yeah.
called "Where's Daddy?" Why do they gotta include the daddy, anyways? But that system is literally made to track individuals into their homes and then destroy the home. So obviously, this is a big reason why you've seen such a high civilian casualty rate. Okay, it even goes on to say, like, depending on the target, it would justify an amount of civilian casualties. So like a high-ranking member of Hamas, it'll justify hundreds of civilian deaths
Yeah, baby.
to get the one guy.
This is fucking Terminator. This is the world
we wanna live in?
plot of Terminator
how
or
many-
Eagle Eye or
Give
any
the-
other
Do we gotta
movie,
make about this
sci-fi
shit
movie that's ever been
before-
made.
Yeah,
Blade Runner.
give the AI the weapon.
Blade
what could go
Runner.
wrong?
Blade Runner. I, Robot. You name one. I mean, fuck, any one of them. Fucking even Dune. Dune, one of the main points of Dune is they gave AI too much power, and they have to, it's called the Technological Jihad. Deep cut literary references here all day, fam. You know how we do it.
We're literary on this podcast.
How many times can we warn ourselves of something and then still just go ahead and plow right into it?
Hate that.
That's hate that. Love that. Hate that. It's we're really good at it.
How many it's literally we live in the age of billionaires reading a book or watching a movie and going, hey, that thing that destroyed the world,
Let's
that's
make
actually
that.
pretty cool, and I'd like to make that.
Let's go ahead and make that thing.
Yeah, what a
ASAP.
good idea that was until it turned evil. Let's make it not turn
Oh,
evil.
but we'll do it. So,
we'll do it the right way. Right, exactly.
It kind of reminds me every time the states go into, a new country to spread freedom and democracy. And, shit, it never seems to work. It costs a lot of money, though.
Costs a lot of
Tom,
money.
it costs a lot of freaking
Costs
money.
a lot of money. Costs a lot of lives. And it's pointless.
How's the grocery bill doing?
Oh, the grocery bill has never been better.
Never been better. Never been
been
higher. Yeah, never
The,
been fucking higher.
That Loblaws boycott is in full effect, and Loblaws being the closest store to me.
That's right.
I
Well,
haven't gotten groceries.
here's some economic advice from John. It's a new segment here on the show. We've done a couple others. So what you do is you got to find a neighborhood that has like some thick walls, right, Tom? And then what you're going to do is you're going to hide in the walls of homes, and then take their food when they fall asleep at night. And that'll help supplement your
Sleep during the day,
sleep during the day.
be up at night,
Hide in the walls.
hide in the walls. Make sure you wear socks around the house so you're not,
Socks are good.
Socks.
Maybe some slippers if you got them, guys.
That
I don't
would be
know.
better.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be better. Slippers would be good, guys. But you don't have slippers in the budget if we're stealing food from the walls of our neighbors.
steal the slippers. Honey, where did my slippers go? I don't know.
Take
You
them
must
one
have
at a
lost them.
time. Yeah, that's
Anyway.
right. You take
One at a
one.
time.
You take one slipper, and then he eventually throws the other one out. You scoop
Exactly.
that, guys. It's
Exactly.
called Economics 101.
Damn.
Clip
Why
that.
steal two slippers when you can steal one and get the other one for free?
That's a good talk, guys. Okay, listen. On that note, did you know that? Remember last episode? You know what I just forgot to do, Tommy? I got to go live on TikTok. We're depriving our TikTok a lot of people, but that's all right. This was a random pod, but this will be perfect actually. So listen, we talked last week about what was going on at UCLA and the pro-Palestine protests, pro-Palestinian protests going on across universities and colleges in North America and frankly the world. I'm seeing more and more cropping up. Some are violent, some are not. What did we say? Literally, I said, I guess I'm just going to have to go to one.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Something along those lines.
What'd you end up doing?
I went to one. There was one here. I actually might pop by. I should pop by again today. Actually, we'll do that after the gym. Go see if they're still there. They had the full encampment out But I'll tell you what, Tommy, CBC was there, rejected. Didn't get any interviews. Rebel News showed up, and this big jacked guy named Chris Dacey went over and knocked the megaphone out of one of the protesters' hands.
Ooh.
It was fucking pretty despicable. Great journalism, Rebel News.
Yeah, seriously.
Awesome stuff. Like, what are you doing? Basically, he was trying to start a fight to get.
Yeah.
By the way, he is on roids so clearly. He's like a big roid juice monkey. And he knocked it out of like some kid's hand. I'm just like, you are such an asshole. Rebel News.
And
Give
then,
your head a shake. Anyway, so
someone retaliates and suddenly you can report that it's a violent protest.
Listen, the protesters were nothing but polite and respectful. Anyways, your boy walked out of there with the interviews. CBC, take a hike. Rebel News, you stink. You guys are bums. You're pretenders. You're not out there with the people. They don't want you anywhere near them. Your boy got the interview with the organizers, though. You know how we do. What do you think of that, Tommy?
It's really impressive. I think it just shows like you can't, like no one on either side of the spectrum
That's
is
right.
trusting of media right now.
That's what I love, too. You got Rebel, which is over here on the right.
All right.
You got CBC very on the left.
Get out of here.
Neither of you guys are wanted anymore. Your job here is done, guys. You know what? You've done great. You haven't actually done great. You left a smoldering shit pile. You left you left an ocean full of plastic and a bunch of dumb people. Thanks. Anyways, we're working on it, guys. We're chipping away. Yo, what up, Tia? By the way, everyone here in TikTok land, shout out Ant-Man, Hannah, Amy, Lorraine, Rebecca, Lucy. I'll do it myself. Everyone, you know who you are. You want to see something fun? I'll be right back, guys. I'm just going to show you this, and we'll throw it up quick. I was just taking a look at my analytics on Instagram. So right there, Tom, is the day I came back to Canada. Can you tell which day I came back to Canada? We'll put that up on the thing so people can see. That's my follower count since I got back to Canada. How's that looking, eh?
The day where it goes below
zero.
Yeah.
The trend is awesome.
That's fantastic.
CRTC. Remember the CRTC?
Yeah.
I can't wait to start the class action lawsuit. Any other creators that are having their views affected and following affected by being in Canada, reach out to me.
That's so
fucking
niche,
that is so blatant. That's fucking so blatant, if you ask me. Is it not? It's literally the day I got back to Canada. April 21st. That's the day. To the day. Like the IP.
Unreal.
The IP changed. Boomsies. Bye. Fucking unbelievable. Tommy,
now, why would the Canadian?
Because it's probably part of the news content. Like it might even be Instagram.
But you think they would try and encourage more Canadians to watch Canadians?
You would
That's
think
what I thought it was all about.
Yes, you would
right?
think that.
So why are they tanking your numbers?
Well, because they can't be getting.
It make sense.
Because they don't want me to exist, because they don't want us to be able to go into a protest where the nationally syndicated and $100 million funded public broadcaster can't even get a fucking interview. But Johnny walks in there with nothing but the support of the people.
So now you think because you're on Canadian soil, they're like, finally, he's in our territory.
They just are shutting my shit down.
I see.
Beautiful stuff.
And not just you, that implies.
I'm sure it's happening to content creators across the board.
But that's also so niche, right? Any other content creators that have moved from a different country to Canada who also report the true news?
I wonder. Yeah, we'll put this clip out there, and I'll see if people get back to me on it. I mean, I know for a fact it's an uphill battle for anyone doing informative news content. Maybe I should just start dancing. Shit, I'm a white guy. No, can't do that. I can't dance.
No.
Someone told me recently that white people dancing, just no matter how talented they are, just kind of look like drunk babies. And I've just ruined it for you. So next time you're just at the party or whatever at the club, just take a look around and you're just going to see a bunch of drunk babies.
I filmed too many weddings for you to be telling me this information because now I'm not going to be able to
No, buddy, the weddings is where it happens the most. I hate to say it. You know what I always like? I like when inevitably the DJ puts on Punjabi MC. You know that song with Jay-Z? And it's like, dun, 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 and then all the white people do the...
of course,
dance.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking? You see, how many times have you seen that? It's Canadian tradition.
Our prime minister
The Canadian
said so.
tradition, stealing from other cultures and making it our own. Shout out,
No.
shout out, white.
Canadian culture is literally just taking other cultures.
Oh my God! Shout out Europe, doing it big since AD, whatever the fuck.
We got to look up to Britain and what they did in their
Oh
past.
man, they're such good role models.
Oh, it's great role
King
models.
sausage fingers, isn't it, bruv? Pretty good accent there. Sometimes I nail it, guys. Build Idaho in the house. What's up, my man? All right, you want to? Do you see? This is a fun one. This is a fun one. I didn't even tell Tommy about this one because I just like to.
You didn't tell me about anything.
I didn't tell him about nothing. Showed up late.
Showed up late with no schedule, and now
I mean, I have the schedule. It's just you're not privy to it. So this is It's a fun little news story. I'm sure there's nothing really to be looked into here, but quietly, very, very quietly, this was back. I guess it was at the end of March, start of April. So about a month ago, but it just came across my desk, so to speak. The European Commission quietly removed its marketing authorization for the COVID vaccine. Didn't make a big deal. They used to like making big deals out of everything to do with that stuff, but they don't. I'm looking at the files here, Tom. I'll make sure we put it up just so people can see that this ain't no conspiracy. Like I'm looking at the file, Brussels 27, European Commission header. Withdrawing at the holder's request the marketing authorization granted by decision C 2021-698 final for Vaxzevria COVID-19 vaccine medical product for human use.
is that just for marketing?
So what does that mean? Yeah, marketing authorization. What does that even mean? It means they can promote it and advertise it, I assume.
Maybe they had I want to know more about this now because maybe they had special permissions to advertise it to people.
The placing on the market of the medical product Vaxzevria COVID-19 vaccine, which is entered in the Union Register of the medicinal products under the blah blah blah, was authorized by Commission decision C 2021, obviously in the heat of the pandemic. Following the holder's request, that authorization should be withdrawn. Shall take effect May 7th. So that just happened. That happened yesterday.
Yesterday,
they lost. So as of yesterday, the European Union essentially will. I guess they're just going to not talk about it, pretend that it never even happened. That's good. So the CDC released it was a study on myocarditis. I might have said that wrong. Get off my dick. Get off my dick. Anyways, do you want to know? It was a 140-page document, Tom. Mm-hmm. Do you want to know how many pages were redacted?
Of 140?
Yeah.
20.
No. You know what the answer is.
Is it 140?
Yes. Yes, Thomas. 140 out of 140. That's 100%.
No.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's called transparency. I can't even say it. That's called transparency. That's called transparency. Don't question it. If you do, you want to kill my grandmother.
We'll release the papers to you here. It's just blank pages.
Listen, if you question it, you're racist, homophobic, and you want to kill my grandma. And that's my reasonable take on the issue, Thomas.
Understandable.
That's satire, folks. That's a little pinch of satire. A little sprinkle, a little satire in there, guys. If you question it, you hate Jesus, says Tia. Checks out. We have good stories with our Jesus peeps up in here. Moving on. Honestly, Tom, that's about it. You know what I want to do though? I want to ask the people in the TikTok chat right now, all those beautiful people out there. If you guys have any funny videos that me and Tommy should watch, because that's the one thing that was kind of lacking.
You got to tell him we did the Drake's Ghostwriters, the Always Sunny
Yeah,
clip.
but that was just kind of like a little appetizer.
That was a teaser.
that's
Yeah,
just,
I see.
So Tia, anyone in here, if you guys got like an old YouTube video, a classic, hit me up with it. Maybe Tom, maybe do you have any funny video? What's like video you and the boys would watch? Like offensive funny. Joey Diaz mushroom story. That sounds fucking kind of perfect. We talked about the AI targeting. I'm just going to go over my thing here. Apparently there's something May 10th, some sort of worldwide strike. There's so many of those things I've heard of, like they just never work. So I don't know. I don't give them much credence. But apparently people are trying to organize some sort of, worldwide strike on May 10th. So what, in fucking 2 days?
Strike for what? Just stop working?
Probably, I think it is. It's to me when I was told about it, it's like a continuation of these, like a non-compliance strike. Don't go to work. Don't pay your heating bill. But like this, it's not gonna like the one day does nothing.
Yeah, and
that's my whole
not
thing with it. Like one day ain't gonna do a fucking damn thing.
The fucking writer's strike that happened in LA, right? They were out there for months before they got any ground covered.
Yes, they
one
were.
day.
Can I tell you a story about? Oh man, I had a great night out at the Cox Ranch. It's Cook's Ranch. So it's spelled Koch though, so we always call him Matty Cock. Shout out Matty Cock. We love you here at the Not What I'm Referring To podcast. But long story short, I just hearing some of these stories about the boys at the Bruce and some of the stuff that allegedly have occurred. Certainly not provable by any means, but like I've just never been a part of a union, and the stuff that I hear these, sometimes back in the day that would happen, and these people do not get fired. It's fucking amazing. I got to get me a union.
Yeah.
They just go in, and it's like, oh, you tried to, God, I don't even want to get into specifics, but it's like, there's one story specifically, I was like, how does that person have a job still? How? I literally got fired, Tom, from a job once because the CEO of the company's little shithead fucking Yorkie, this 2-pound dog, Sammy. Fuck you, Sammy. And you, Andrew. Sammy bit the mailman. Sammy bit the mailman at the front desk, and then I got fired somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, like, I've never had that union protection. And it's like, holy shit, that'd be nice.
I won't do specifics, but I did work with a union. I don't think I was technically unionized, but the supervisors were, and we would go out into small groups with just one supervisor per group. So one morning, the supervisor's like, yeah, guys, I'm actually hungover, so if you shut up about it, then we're just going to not work this morning.
That sounds nice. That sounds reasonable.
I was like, all right.
That sounds like a good boss, frankly.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good boss, frankly. God, I heard, like I said, we spent some time in the old garage last night, and some of the farm boys were telling me stories of running down coyotes on snowmobiles. What do you know about that life?
What do I know about the life of running down coyotes?
Well, they're threatening the farm. Like,
John.
Is that what you did last night? You're chasing
Funny
coyotes.
you should mention it.
You're chasing coyotes on the old snowmobile last night.
because we got so much snow up here.
Nah, man, it's like, listen, I'll put it this way. There are stories. It's like every little town in the world has like a guy that has a wolf in a cage in his backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like some weird fucking... There's some weird house in the middle of buttfuck nowhere where, there's just a bunch of meth getting cooked. Wolves in the backyard. Fucking who knows what else. Maybe a little coyote grill session in the back. You ever had barbecue coyote, Tom?
No, it's probably gamey, though. Yeah?
Yes, I said it like I had. No, I've never. Anyone in the chat? I don't think you're supposed to eat that shit. That's how
You can eat whatever you want.
That's how COVID started. The boys, it didn't come from China. It came from the boys out in the field there.
Running down coyotes with
Coyotes
snowmobiles.
with the fucking snowmobile. Oh my God. Good times. I'll tell you, it was actually hard to leave the old garage because I was having a good time. Just simpler times, listening to these stories of the boys. What we're out here doing a protest, fucking hunting. Well, I guess we did hunt rats in the subway, Tom. Are you gonna come next time we come to New York City? You should come with.
Sure.
I'll fund what we should be having. By the way, big announcement coming, guys, for the podcast. We have a fully incorporated.
Fully incorporated?
We're incorporated. News updates for real. Media Incorporated. Do you like the sounds of that?
News updates for real. Media. Is its own entity.
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
Excellent.
It's crazy.
Excellent.
It's despite how great the apps and my own country treats me with censorship, and despite trying to give information to two polarized sides, and I'm always trying to thread the needle, which inevitably pisses off every side.
Yeah. Try and please everyone, you please no one.
Having said all that, we've done a lot here with this little vehicle, if you will, and I'm excited, man. Now that we got this ball rolling, I think things are really going to start falling into line. I guess the last thing that we got to do is watch this video, which I think I sent to you. It should be on your phone. And it's the video about how the oil companies have been purposely price manipulating things. It sounds so familiar. Sounds so fucking familiar. Maybe whenever a goddamn company makes record profits quarter after quarter while the rest of the population struggles, maybe we should look into whether that's fair or not. God, the diamond storage people are fucking wondering what is under what bee in his bonnet.
It was so quiet for the first 3 hours, and then
that fucking guy showed up in the Corolla. Anyways, Tom, just watch the first 3 minutes of this video. That's it. First 3 minutes.
So a massive scandal has been revealed, price fixing on an extraordinary level. We can put this up on the screen from Matt Stoller. He is helping to expose that there was an oil price fixing conspiracy that caused some 27% of all inflation increases in 2021. This is at his newsletter, which is called Big, and Matt Stoller joins us now. He also works at the American Economic Liberties Project and is a partner here at Breaking Points. Great to see you, sir.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me.
So actually, let's put that chart back up on the screen. And while we have that up, explain what we're looking at and explain what the hell happened here.
Yes.
Yeah, so that chart is what happened in 2021 when the rebound from COVID was an explosion of corporate profits. It was also an explosion of inflation. And corporate profits, that increase in corporate profits was about $700 billion. And that was responsible for about 60% of the inflationary increases above normal. So, there's always a little bit of inflation, but like the extreme amount of inflation, that new stuff, 60% of it is corporate profits.
Wow.
And so that's what that chart suggests. Shows. That's a chart that I published in 2021. And then of that, and this is what was just revealed, about $200 billion, guesstimate, we don't know exactly, is just one conspiracy of price fixing in the oil industry.
Wow.
So that's a little over a quarter of that increase was from one price-fixing conspiracy in the oil industry.
And then we'll go to the interview with Julian Brown, Nature Jab, and we'll have all his contact info in the descriptions, guys. This is going to be it for podcast number 12. Tommy, run the clip, and then we'll be going straight to the interview, guys. Thank you. Smash that like button. You're going to want to cut that, put that right at the start. What I just did. Is that okay? Or should we do it? I'll send you a clip of me saying smash the like button. No, because we got to start playing these fucking dirty tricks.
Just do the intro again.
Yeah. No, just clip it and then stick it in front of it.
Just hit that like button. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
We're not cutting any of this out either.
Be like chopped like that.
We're not cutting any of this out. We're planning
this stays. This is gold. This
Why
is
would we
radio
cut
magic.
This is you want to see how the sausage is made? This is how the sausage is made.
This is Art Bell meets Hunter S. Thompson meets who's the biggest radio guy in the world? Who is that?
Who listens to radio?
God, why can't I think of the guy's name? Howard Stern. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you guys. I'm a radio guy. It's Howard Stern.
There you go.
Run the fucking clip, Tom. All right, guys, we are here with Julian Brown, aka Nature Jab, on Instagram. Make sure you hit him with a follow, guys. How's it going today, Julian?
Hey, I'm doing extravagant. Always grateful. What about you?
You know what, man? I can't complain. Well, I could. There's literally, it feels like it might snow again. I'm up here in Ottawa, Canada. What's the weather like in Atlanta? Take me back to Georgia, please.
Well, right now it's a little bit groggy, but when it's not groggy, it's really hot. So,
Brother, I miss it. I was down there for 2 weeks and my skin wasn't translucent anymore. I felt almost like a human. Anyways, so listen,
like me.
So I'll tell you this, my friends, you are a sensation right now across social media. Everyone I've told about this interview is super excited about it. No pressure, but they've seen your videos. They see what you're doing. So I just wanted to start here and just ask, who are you? And are you an evil scientist?
So my name is Julian Brown. I am a professional evil scientist, indeed.
Awesome.
Well, actually, what I am is I'm a welder. In my high school years, I started learning a welding program, and that's
Okay.
my only real formal education. People oftentimes will ask me that. What I do is I am innovating in the field of pyrolysis, and pyrolysis is the process of turning an organic matter into fuels. I particularly turn plastic waste into fuel with the process of microwave pyrolysis. So, going back to what I was saying to begin with, being a welder, learning how to weld in high school, that's what allowed me to be on this path to begin with, because I've always been an environmentalist. I've always cared about, what's going on. I would like to say I've always been a true environmentalist, not the societal environmentalist that we see nowadays.
The trendy environmentalist.
I've been I guess there's a difference, because nowadays you see more of, like, I guess people might call it environmentalism. I'm a true conservationalist. I'll say it like that. I believe that we've been gifted with this beauty of nature, and let's conserve its beauty. So with that being said, I always been that way. And when it came to things like the plastic problem, when I was in my environmental science class in high school, I saw the turtle that had the straw up its nose, and I'm like, okay, listen, they keep telling us all this stuff about plastic, right? Like, they keep telling us, pushing it in our face, saying it's our fault. We need to be consuming the paper straws and all this stuff. But I'm like, well, what is anybody doing about it? What's the solution? They're not offering the solution, right? I know we have these things that go and capture the plastic out the ocean, but clearly, if that was working, we wouldn't have this problem, right? So I was like, you know what? That really got me thinking, opened up my mind. And then I did some more research. I figured out that when you take your plastic, put it in your recycle bin, it actually is more likely to end up in the ocean or landfill than to actually be recycled. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something myself, because being a part of, studying nature, I learned, through gardening and stuff, like, when you're gardening and you have waste like food waste or garden waste, you can compost it yourself at home and make fertilizer for your same garden. So I'm like, okay, you have wood waste, you can burn it and make heat for your home. So I'm like, okay, you could do these things with your waste products by yourself. Who is ever to say that we can't do the same with plastic waste? Why do we say that we have to ship it off to some nation, give it to some large company or government? Why can't we do something about it ourselves? So I looked into the process of pyrolysis online and found out that you can indeed turn plastic and recycle it into usable products yourself at home. And that's where I started.
Even fertilizer, it looked like you had made in one of your videos. I saw like you even produced fertilizer from plastic.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That statement just sounds crazy, but
yes,
it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true,
amazing.
Because the process of pyrolysis it's a process that has existed since the beginning of Earth, right? As I said, I literally just looked this stuff up on Google to find out it was possible. So I didn't invent the process, but I applied it, right, into this backyard scale. So basically how it works is, it's not the same as burning plastic. We know plastic's flammable, right? If you were to go set plastic on fire, it will burn. You can use it to heat things, but it's going to make tons of toxic things, uncontrolled smoke. Pyrolysis is different, because what you do is you put the plastic in a container, right? In a closed container free of oxygen, then you heat it up. And since there's no oxygen, it cannot burn, because a fire needs oxygen to burn. And instead, the plastic breaks down to its basic chemical building blocks. What are its building blocks? Literally crude oil, because that's what it comes from. So you get natural gas, you get liquid fuels come out, and then all the stuff through the plastic is carbon, that fertilizer that you mentioned, because carbon can be turned into biochar, one of the best fertilizers.
Wow. So, so when you call it, it's a microwave reactor. That's kind of what you call it. Maybe explain for some of us laymen just what's going on there. Like you have a literal microwave in your backyard, connected to a contraption. So like, just give us pretend you're explaining it to a dog, like a puppy that just learned how to walk. You know what I mean?
In the most simplest terms, what I've done is I have welded together a gigantic tube and I made a gigantic tubular microwave in my backyard. So this tube has, right now, it has 9 magnetrons on it. And a magnetron is what creates the microwaves in every single one of your microwave ovens. So this is the equivalent of 9 microwaves going into one gigantic tube that plastic goes into, a sealed container, like the Titan. You know what I'm saying? Going down the submarine. So think about it like that. Microwaves attached to it, plastic goes in, and then those microwaves bombard the plastic and destroy it.
Break it down, essentially.
They break it down. Right. So going back to the basic chemistry of it, right? So since it's in this closed container, the microwaves heat up the plastic, it doesn't burn, there's no oxygen, right? So going back to what I was saying before, since plastic is made of crude oil, it's a solid form of crude oil.
That's right.
So it's kind of like turning ice into steam, right? It's like, of course it's possible to do because that's what's within the plastic to begin with. It's not like we're like creating it out of nowhere. It literally is what plastic is made of. So, you know, the process of pyrolysis, turning plastic into fuels, has been studied for a very long time. Even using microwaves has been studied for a very long time. However, the big difference is it has not been seen or published online done at a backyard scale like this. And on top of that, the reason why I'm so advocating towards this is because, you know, like you say this to somebody, it sounds like a no-brainer. Like, turn plastic into fuel.
No kidding. Yeah.
Why do we have it in our oceans then? But yet we still do. So clearly, even though this is an amazing technology that has been around forever, it is not being done properly, applied properly, and that's what I strive to do.
So there's well, you're doing a hell of a job, my friend, and there's 2 things there I just want to hit home. Like, I feel like, you know, a lot of people, even some of these trendy environmentalists we mentioned earlier, they probably don't even realize that plastic is made from oil. You know, bikes and so much stuff in our society is made from oil. So when you're breaking it back down to that root, I mean, yeah, you're right. It is a no-brainer. Now, is this something hypothetically that anyone could have with some instruction, could make in their backyard?
Yeah, hypothetically, I definitely don't recommend it, but, you know, think about it.
Right.
I built my first one at 17 years old, right?
Wow.
With just metal and taking apart microwave ovens. So if I built it at 17-year-old with almost no budget, with scrapyard parts, then anybody could truly build it if you really want to.
So that's what I'm saying. And I mean, it almost reminds me, I mean, I'm sure you're well familiar of, let me ask you this, Team Tesla or Team Alexander Graham Bell?
Alexander Graham Bell.
My man, I thought you were going to go Tesla.
No,
for sure.
I'm just flying with you, Tesla. Tesla all the way.
Okay. Yeah, we on the same team, brother. And it's like, you know, how much of this technology is sitting in some laboratory right now in some CIA bunker where they can probably seamlessly, and I know maybe Julian, if you want to comment a bit, I'll give you a segue here, but you know, what you're doing is a very rough draft, so to speak. Like, there would have to be more refinement to the fuel that you're pulling out, but like, they probably have, you know, they've got millions of dollars at their disposal. If this technology exists, if a 17-year-old, and I mean, you're obviously a savant at this stuff, my friend, but you know, they have this technology. I'm sure of it. They're aware of it, obviously. Why do you think this is not something that has been shared and talked about?
I love that question because I talk about this all the time. Like I said, I found this process by reading research papers from universities all over the world. I know all the history of this process. And yet, think about it like this, okay? Because a lot of people are like, okay, it's not pushed because it's not efficient or doesn't work. But think about how many scientific things that we know that didn't work, like nuclear reactors that were taught in school. You know how many people, I speak to chemical engineering majors that barely know about the process of pyrolysis. So I don't care if it doesn't work or not. It's clearly being suppressed. Because how come one of the most important technologies that we need in this time in our energy crisis, our waste crisis, is the first time people are ever hearing about it is some some 20-year-old black kid on the internet, you know? Like that's
Straight
like
coming out of the A, baby, just
Yeah.
holding it down.
Exactly. So it's like there's something wrong with that. And I believe the information is the true power of anything. I think the big reason why it is suppressed is that let's just think about it like this, right? Let's just think about the basics of this. Pyrolysis, it can be done. Okay, a huge government could do it, right? But you could also do it in your backyard. We've been told for our whole life that in order to get oil to make our fuel, we have to pay crazy prices. We have to pay crazy taxes. We have to go to war for it. But now I'm telling you, you can make it in your backyard with something that you would have thrown away and was told is the biggest polluter of Earth. And that's paradigm shifting.
You're getting two birds stoned at once there too, right? You're helping eliminate. Obviously, we have too much plastic in our ecosystems, and then you're also creating fuel, which there's a huge shortage of right now, and because of certain practices by the powers that be. Shout out OPEC. Let me ask you this, Julian: does the C in OPEC stand for cartel? I've been unsure about that one.
People have these conspiracies, but you know what? Let's be real; they're not very far from.
No, man. Like, listen, let's go there real quick. Like, how does the oil processing distribution monopoly operate to the best of your understanding, just to give people an idea of maybe why some of these things are being suppressed, why some of this new technology, they don't want it out there?
I'm going to say it like this, right? The people, here's the funny thing, right? So recycling, when it first came out, they pushed everybody to do it. It ended up being a gigantic scam because they really just sent all the plastic waste to China. They're trying to act like this is big environmental thing. Guess who backed that? The recycling, the oil companies. You know why? Because plastic is made of oil, so it fits their pockets. This whole carbon, this is the real crazy stuff. This whole carbon credit stuff going on. Yeah. Guess who backs it?
I live in Canada, brother. My grocery bill is absurd right now. Yeah, trust.
Yeah. So like you wouldn't think like, oh, these huge polluters care about, they're not going to be the ones backing recycling or carbon credits, but they are. And how do they keep this monopoly? Because they do these type of socio tricks, societal, mental, manipulative tricks to like.
Yes, sir.
It's some crazy psychological warfare going on.
The fact that you're able to see that, I'll tell you this quick tangent. A lot of people don't know this. You can watch this. It's a documentary on YouTube called The Century of Self. So basically, Sigmund Freud's nephew, who was probably a schmatzi from Germany, speculative, but they brought him over during Project Paperclip. He was a war propaganda specialist. So when he got to America, he decided to repackage propaganda. And you know what they call that? They call that PR. That's PR. So PR has become, and I mean, that's the bread and butter of any good marketing campaign, is a strong PR team. It's literally gift wrapped German propaganda that has been, essentially just tweaked a little bit, Americanized. That's the world we're living in.
That's what the oil companies do, because here's what it is. Like, you think of BP, Shell, Exxon, everybody thinks evil. Okay, evil oil company. But what they do is they do that trick. So they have a million companies under them that they own that you think is a good company, but it really is theirs. Because they know, okay, our reputation is just this big evil company. They have a million ones under them that you would never think is related. The most environmental, green-backed company, maybe even the EPA themselves, you didn't know, or have their pockets lined from these companies. And that's how they keep their monopoly.
Yes, sir. Couldn't have said it any better myself. So what's next? What do you want to do? Where do you want to take this? Are you just kind of going with the flow, or do you have kind of an end goal? Have you looked into trying to find any partners or anything like that?
Yeah, so my goal is, I've been building this in my backyard for the past 3 years. I want to build it professionally. So I'm on my 5th design. It's called Mark 4.5. My last design was Mark 4. This is a transitionary machine between when I built it handmade and the Mark 5, the first industrial one. So it's Mark 4.5. Last one I'm going to be building by hand like this. I want to build the first ever professional industrial pilot plant. So then that will be the machine that, companies and governments and people that are interested in buying the machine can see, like, this is how it's going to actually be. when it's completed and done professionally. And with that, once that's done at that point, it's going to be pretty easy to get this all over the world because there's already so many companies and governments and countries interested in this tech, right? They're just waiting for the green light on when it's done.
Beautiful. Have you had any Men in Black show up at your doorstep yet, or any interesting interactions over the last year, my friend?
Fortunately, I have not had any Men in Black show up yet.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Apparently,
yeah,
Will
Will Smith is too busy slapping Chris Rock still, it seems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, I just heard Joyner Lucas has a song called Will, and it's actually one of my favorite jams right now. And then I just heard Will Smith actually responded to it. So there's I think it's a couple years old, but Will Smith put out a rap song like 2 years ago.
Wow.
Still not swearing. My man's still not swearing. So God bless him. But man. Okay. So we have, we got Team Tesla. We went over the CIA. Man, I got to tell you, you came prepared. You knocked off a lot of my questions without me even having to ask them. So I appreciate that. Is there anything else you got going on that you want people to be aware of? Any other channels? I know you're strong on the Instagram. Is there anywhere else you want to direct people, or anything else you want to say in general, my friend?
Sure. The YouTube channel is growing strong. I just hit 100,000 on there. So, I got to thank everybody for that. We just hit 500,000 on Instagram. So I got to thank everybody for that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. My man.
I love to see it because, at the end of the day, as we said from the beginning, information is the key. Information is everything. People want to ask me all the time. I'm sure you've seen it because you see my comments. Everybody asks, they're going to get you, say you're not suicidal, you're going to die, all this.
Yeah, I get those comments too. I get
yeah, exactly. You're in the business. You're in the same industry pretty much as me, a truth speaker. So you get it. And ultimately, what I say is, like, people ask, are you scared? I'm like, it doesn't really matter because for one, if the CIA is going to get you, they're going to get you. You're not going to, there's nowhere you can go if they want you. That's the first step. And for two, it doesn't matter anyway, because the truth of the matter is it's not about what I'm doing. Because people think about this machine as if it's some type of golden, once in a lifetime gem thing for me to build this machine. I'm just a welder. I'm just putting this together. The truth is the information and the knowledge. People know this is possible. This guy built it, so I can build it. That's the key, and that's already out there now, and that's unextinguishable now.
Yes, brother. And that's it. And I think that's a great kind of point to touch on. I will say this too. Like I spent 3 weeks traveling around the United States. I was in New York City, took a flight down to Georgia, spent 10 days down there. There was no hassle. There was no man waiting for me at the airport. I was all ready for my cavity search. Nothing even happened, So, I mean, while there is shady shit going on, there is still plenty of freedom out there for now. I will say for now, but we got to keep tabs on them. I mean, I think when you look at what's happening with TikTok, it's content like yours that they're attacking, that they don't want getting out there. I know they say it's about privacy, but let's be real. That ship sailed 10, 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, Snowden tried to warn us. We tried to put him in jail. The rest is history. But yeah, the ship sailed. So anyone that tries to tell you, oh, they're taking this they're taking TikTok, or next it might be Instagram or whatever, right? For privacy, that's a lie. It's not for that. It's like you say, information. I mean, look at Varys. To all my Game of Thrones fans out there, the Varys was the most powerful guy in the Seven Kingdoms. All he has is information. My man rolls deep in information. It is the best currency.
You know why they hate information so much when it's in our hands? It's because this is the information war for them just as much. Literally, that's intel is what the war is between countries nowadays. So you think that they want their own citizens to have the information to be able to do things that could,
Self-sufficiency. God forbid you have a little plastic recycler fuel generator beside your chicken coop in your backyard, which is illegal in a lot of cities. And then more and more I'm seeing bylaws passed all over North America preventing people from having these things, even gardens. They're coming for our gardens.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. It's a
That's what
scary
it
thing.
is right there. So people ask me, am I at risk for building this? No, I'm not at risk for building this. I'm at risk for pushing this idea of self-sufficiency. Because like I said, even before I started this, I was a gardener. So I always been all about it. And that's, think about it. How often do you see a viral video of gardening or homesteading or the
Yeah.
real stuff? You don't.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing viral videos of me over and over again pushing the same basic idea. We don't have to go to war for this. We don't have
No.
to rely on companies. You can do this. If you care about the environment and you want fuel from your plastic waste, you really can do it right there in your backyard.
Well, brother, I will put myself out there at risk with you and keep pumping this message. I'm super excited. One last thing I wanted to ask you: have you ever heard of the madman Mike Markham, the time traveler from the Art Bell show? He's the guy that made the coil time travel device in his garage. You're giving me big madman Mike vibes, and I'll send you a link after this. You got to check this guy out. He might have time traveled. They don't know where this guy went. He's gone, but I'll send you a link. Listen, man, keep up the good fight because you're doing amazing work. Shout out to our mutual friend, Jim Bob, who connected this. I got to shout my man, Jim Bob, out. He told me, let me ask you this, Julian. He told me he would take me down a proper river, deep in the backwoods of Georgia, next time I come down. Maybe you want to tag along. We could go for a little adventure in the river because I'm still going to hold them to that. We weren't able to do it while I was there last time, but I am coming back September latest. So I'll be back in Georgia in September.
And then the machine will be open for tours then too. So you'll be able to see the machine as well.
It's all lining up, man. Okay. All right. Thank you for the time, Julian. Guys, go check out the YouTube. What's the YouTube handle, my man?
Nature Jab.
Nature Jab, guys. Same handle. I'll put all the links in the description. Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. You're a fucking beauty. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for sharing the info. And yeah, we're gonna spread this. We're gonna sing this from the mountaintops. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you for wanting to have the interview here, man. Much love to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we'll talk again soon.
All right.
Peace.